A man saved a little orphaned bear cub. He took the lonely cub home, where he fed and raised it, but something shocking happened after 3 years. 30-year-old Alex walked home every evening along the same path that passed near the forest. That day, he worked until 7 in the evening, so it was already dark when he walked home. Suddenly, he heard some strange noise coming from the bushes next to the road. The sounds were like a plaintive squeak, as if someone was in trouble and desperately calling for help. Alex went towards the source of the noise and was very surprised to find a little bear cub near an unfinished building, apparently just recently born. The poor thing was sitting, tucking its paws under itself and shivering with fear, squealing as loudly as it could. Alex became wary, as an aggressive mother bear could be nearby. But several minutes passed, and the bear still did not appear. The man realized that the bear cub was left without a mother, who could have been killed by hunters or some kind of disease. Alex had a kind heart and knew he could not leave the tiny bear cub to fate. He carefully picked up the cub and carried it home. The little furry creature immediately felt safe, stopped shivering, and quieted down in the cozy, warm jacket. When Alex brought the bear cub home, he immediately poured some warm milk into a bowl and stirred in a little sugar. He placed the bowl on the floor, and the bear cub immediately crawled towards it on all fours and began to greedily lap the milk, as it was very hungry. It seemed that the cub had been without its mother for a long time, driven by desperation to leave the forest and head towards the city. Alex stroked the bear cub's soft fur and decided to keep it at home, realizing that the helpless cub would not survive alone in the wild. The man named his new, unusual pet Archie. The bear cub quickly adapted to his new home and kind owner. Alex had a dog named Stella, a sweet mongrel with kind eyes. At first, Stella was afraid of Archie when the man first brought him into the house and growled menacingly at the furry animal. But after a few days, the dog realized that Archie was just a tiny, defenseless cub in desperate need of maternal love and care. It only took a couple of weeks for the two pets to start happily running after each other in the yard near the house. Stella would run away, and Archie cheerfully hobbled after her on his small, amusing paws. Sometimes they would collide in a run, and then the bear cub would fall to the ground, then quickly get up and continue running as if nothing had happened. Every few hours, Alex fed Archie with milk from a bottle with a nipple. The bear cub greedily drank it all and even sucked the empty bottle, trying to squeeze out the last drops. Archie grew rapidly before their eyes, getting bigger and bigger each day. Soon, Alex had to buy for him not milk, but canned meat for adult dogs. Of course, Archie devoured them eagerly. The bear cub gradually transformed into a large and strong beast. When Archie was 3 months old, he was the size of a large dog. It was clearly getting cramped in the small house. Toys flew in all directions, and furniture toppled over from the running and playing of the pets. Alex understood that he would soon have to release the bear back into the forest where he found it. It was a very difficult decision because the man had grown very attached to Archie as if he were his own. But he understood perfectly well that this would be better for the bear himself, who was destined to live in freedom and not in a small house. After another couple of weeks, Alex loaded the much-grown Archie into his car and drove him back into the forest, into the dense thickets, closer to the place where he once found the cub. On the way in the car, the bear cub was very anxious and crawled all over the seat, whining plaintively. The pet probably sensed that his owner was taking him somewhere far away. Finally, they arrived at a place where dense bushes grew along the edge of the forest. Alex pulled the heavy Archie out of the car and set him on the grass in a small clearing. Tears welled up in the man's eyes as he hugged his clumsy friend for the last time. Archie also seemed to understand everything and whined pitifully, not wanting to let go of the man from his embrace. Then Alex had to shout loudly, causing the bear cub to immediately turn around and run quickly into the forest, dropping fir cones and branches as he ran. Within a few seconds, he disappeared into the thickets, wagging his short tail. Alex watched his unusual pet for a long time, hoping that he could adapt and survive in the wild. 3 years had passed since the day Alex released Archie back into the forest. All this time, the man remembered his clumsy friend and missed him. They had been so close, and now Alex could only wonder what had become of Archie in the wild. The man hoped that his big furry friend could handle everything on his own. One sunny evening, when Alex returned from work, he heard a strange noise from the backyard. Stella, who had remained his faithful pet all these years, barked loudly and ran outside through the back door. Alex followed her to find out what was going on, since he wasn't expecting any guests today. Right near the house, next to the trash cans, stood a huge brown bear on its hind legs, staring intently at the man. Alex froze in horror, since bears had never gone that far into the city. The man tried not to move, to avoid provoking aggression from the huge predator. However, this did not help, and the bear headed straight towards the man. Alex almost screamed in horror, but at that moment he suddenly recognized his old friend Archie in the bear. It turned out that this was the same funny little bear cub he had once picked up, only grown into a real, formidable predator. Archie also recognized Alex. He made a joyful growl and approached his old friend closely. The man tensed, as he did not know what to expect from the huge predator. However, Archie had no intention of harming the man. The beast carefully hugged the man with his mighty paws, just as he had done as a child. Then Archie gently nudged his muzzle into Alex's chest and began to lick his face with his large, rough tongue. Seeing this, Stella barked even louder, but Alex calmed her with a gesture. The man finally understood that the bear was not going to attack him. He had specifically come to greet the kind friend who had once saved his life. Touched, Alex went to the refrigerator, took out all the food suitable for the bear, and brought them to Archie. The bear happily began to gobble up this food, smacking and licking his lips. After half an hour, he had eaten everything down to the last crumb, and looked gratefully at the man, while Alex, at that moment, saw in Archie not a huge forest predator, but a little bear cub and his friend. Archie nudged his muzzle into the man again, then leisurely headed towards the forest, while the excited Alex and Stella watched him go. Alex was incredibly glad that Archie had managed to survive and adapt in the forest, meaning all his efforts had not been in vain. Alex never saw his huge forest friend again, but the unforgettable day of their happy reunion remained in the man's memory forever.